Pure space has never been contained by anything, yet it includes and contains everything. Everything is subsumed in it. And no matter what the appearances are in aware pure space, they vanish naturally, leaving no trace. Just like meteors vanish in the sky, leaving no trace. Shooting stars vanish naturally, leaving no trace. Lightning bolts vanish naturally, leaving no trace. Great thunderstorms vanish naturally, leaving no trace. Satellites, rocket ships, smoke billowing into the air. No matter what it is, pure space is unaffected. Yet it includes and contains everything. It has no extremes. It has no extremes whatsoever. So, in actuality, no one has ever taken themselves to be anything. There is no one to take itself to be something. There's only aware pure space. So this is the beginning. This is the initiation into who we are. It's not a destination. The initiation is the direct introduction to our own experience of awareness, our awareness that is naturally present and that is completely beyond either denial or confirmation. We simply know that we are. We are aware that we are. That awareness is primary in being. We would not be aware of being, aware as being, without awareness. So awareness is what we are, self-knowing awareness. We've never had an identity we've been fixated on, identified with, glued to, struggling with, or anything else. So if we take ourselves to be an identity that's fixated, identified, glued to points of view of a personal identity and other points of view, then we'll spend all of our life working on a fiction. And all the while it'll be only pure space, just pure space. Every appearance, no matter what it is, the wetness on our body after we bathe, that vanishes naturally, leaving no trace. A flower coming into being and dissolving, disintegrating, vanishes naturally, leaving no trace. The breeze blowing a leaf, the movement vanishes naturally, leaving no trace. Each one of our movements vanish naturally, leaving no trace. All pure space. So to try to gather pure space into something and make it into anything isn't possible. It isn't possible. And if we believe we have made pure space into something, then the starting point isn't to try to undo all the appearances that vanish naturally in and of themselves. You see, every appearance, it's its own undoing. It doesn't need any participation in its undoing. And no participation whatsoever is necessary. Nothing at all need be done. Nothing at all need be said. Nothing be thought. Nothing need be felt. There is no doing necessary to undo what naturally undoes itself. So if we're trying to spend time undoing this, that, or the other thing, then it's just pure space working on pure space. Seems silly, doesn't it? It would be like if we took one part of the sky and we said, okay, this part of the sky is going to say, I'm going to prove that I'm a sky, I'm a somebody's sky, and I'm going to work on this other part of the sky and try to fix it and undo it in order to prove that I'm the sky. That would be absurd. We can follow that train of logic, but we don't even want to follow it for more than a millisecond because it's so ridiculous and absurd we don't want to even participate in that. So you see, no matter what our perceptions are, our points of view are, of a personal identity, of an ego, of a psychology, of a thought, of an emotional state, a sensation, an action, any appearance whatsoever, it's all equal as the non-dual expanse of infinite bliss. It's all absolutely equal. So if we're trying to judge and analyze and categorize all our perceptions, saying here's some good perceptions, Here's some neutral perceptions. Here's some negative perceptions. Then we'll spend all of our life establishing categories. Even if we continue to talk about non-duality, if we persist in establishing all these categories of better and worse, categories of extremes, we're still, even though we may be talking about non-duality, we're actually talking about duality. So there's nobody to fix, and this is very good news. All we are is self-knowing awareness, the pure view of the vast expanse of infinite space. And within that pure view appears points of view. That's it. And those points of view are inseparable from the pure view of awareness, just like the color blue is inseparable from the sky, just like the color of a leaf is inseparable from the leaf. There's no way whatsoever to separate out point of view from the pure view of awareness. Even points of view of things like, oh, I doubt that I'm awake, or I doubt that I'll ever be awake, or I'm not recognizing myself as awake, or I don't recognize that I am aware. Those two are inseparable from awareness. So non-recognition of awareness and pure awareness are not two. They're not two. Omniscient timeless awareness has no sequence whatsoever. So even in the appearance of the point of view, non-recognition of awareness, recognition of awareness is obvious, because there would be no point of view of non-recognition of awareness without awareness. So you see, if we just look into this in a very simple way, we can see that we're always aware. No matter what thought we're having, no matter what emotional state, no matter what sensation, no matter what action, awareness is primary. We wouldn't have any idea that it was occurring without awareness. So it's this awareness that we allow as the ease of our being, as the gentleness of our being, as the reality of every perception. And when we simply acknowledge that as the reality of our being, the essence of who we are, it becomes more and more obvious. So this is very simple, and it really doesn't require any doing. If you just show up here more and more, the ease will be obvious to you. And even if you've never heard anything like this before, like what I'm saying, and you don't believe a word of it, if you just show up here, the ease will become more obvious. I have people sitting in this room who didn't believe a word I said when they first heard me. But, you know, pure space is obvious, and sometimes we've just never met anybody who's evidence that we can be pure space, that we can be aware pure space. We've never seen it full blown, and when we see it full blown, we experience that, but we're not experiencing another person, we're experiencing ourselves. Do you see what I'm saying? We're experiencing us. It's not the other person. It's just for the first time we've allowed ourselves to relax enough to feel exactly who we are, to directly experience exactly who we are. So there's never anyone doing something to someone else. Everything is rooted in your own awareness. And the relief you feel from all points of view of everything falling away is your natural state. It's your natural state, and it's not dependent on circumstances. So it's not dependent on being in Rishikesh or Sweden or wherever you are. You know? It's just not dependent on anything. Everything depends on it. It depends on nothing. There's no thing whatsoever that can be affected by awareness. And everything, no matter what it is, hasn't forgotten that it's awareness. Everything, no matter what it is, has perfect recall of itself as awareness. Absolute, impeccable recall of itself as awareness. Because you see, there only is awareness. So this is what I'm pointing to here in a very direct way. And, you know, it's not really something that can be elaborated with endless descriptions. The descriptions that describe it are so simple and so straightforward. And the metaphors that are used over and over again are the same. So the descriptions, including the symbols, are very important. If we just had descriptions alone without symbols, powerful symbols, it wouldn't work in the same way. But when I say the sun of awareness outshines the basic space of all points of view, that's very clear. That's very clear, and that works on us in a way that just words alone don't. I can say, everything's awareness. But that has a much different ring of truth and a much different resonance with the essence of our being than saying the sun of awareness is the basic space of all perceptions, of all points of view. And know that sun of awareness as yourself. There would be no perception whatsoever without that sun of your own awareness. There would be no perception whatsoever. If through convention you've adopted a belief that is other than that, that's all it is. It's a convention, and it's just a point of view like any other. So that belief too is awareness. Even the belief that there is no awareness is awareness. So you see, you can't turn anywhere. There's no wiggle room in this. There's no wiggle room. No matter where you turn, there's only awareness.